Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Grace, peace, and all the joy that life can bring to you. Come on in. Blessings to everyone. Blessings to you as you are coming in the room. All right, so I am Shanika Hallback. I help churches, small businesses, and individuals get financially organized. And I want you to do me a favor, as we do on a weekly. I want you to click like and share. Click like and share this message and this post with someone who needs it the most. And I'm going to try to do the same as I asked you to do the same. So, on a weekly basis, we talk through some things that help us to prepare well financially, to prepare well financially. I say it every week, I say it all the time. God is aligning our us, and a part of that is our businesses and those areas of influence in which we have influence in. And so, again, I am your financial advisor. And so this week, we're going to be talking about, I'm going to let you in on a few, I call them secrets, but they're really not secrets. They're loaded with value. One of the things that I hear churches say a lot, I hear churches say a lot is, we don't have enough money. We don't have enough funds. We can't do this. We can't do that. And so I want you to stop asking for more money until you fix one or two of these things, right? One or two of these things. And so I'm going to give you one this week and going to give you one next week. So if you're tuning in today, make sure you tune in next week to hear number two, because number two is that's my go-to. All right. So it's not that you need more money necessarily, right? We could all use more money. We could all use more funding. There are different resources and avenues and ways, but I want to challenge you that before you ask for more money, that you look at these particular things, because this could be the undercurrent of where your funding, where your money actually lies. And so instead of saying we just need more people to do this, we need more grants, so we need this or we need that, I want to challenge you today. One of the ways that you can increase your funding without necessarily having to beg or to ask, it will come automatically if you simply do what you do best. If you're a business owner, if you're a church leader, one of the things that you do best is what? Go ahead and take a quick guess. Some of you may do this on an annual basis, some of you may do it every 6 months. What do you do best? One of the things that you do best, right? If you said vision and or casting vision, that's the golden ticket. Okay? That is the golden ticket. And I'll tell you why. One of the things that you can do to stop asking for money and put your funding on auto, right? On automation, where people automatically start to give, is to clearly cast your vision, right? You need to help not only cast vision, but you need to help members understand the vision, right? And here's why. People just don't fund budgets, they fund vision, right? If you ever talk about the human makeup, people by nature are emotional, right? We go off of feelings, we go off of, and feelings come from understanding, right? And so instead of saying we need $100,000 for our next building project, what you should say is, here is what this $100,000 will accomplish for God's kingdom. And most of the time, when people understand vision clearly, they are more prone and more willing to give and to invest into that purpose. So if you are a business leader, if you are a church leader and you have not casted vision, if your people cannot see clearly where you're going and what you're trying to accomplish, that could be one of the primary reasons why you have not seen funding increase. All right. If your church wants to increase giving, stop talking about money and start talking about, what's the word? Vision. One of the biggest mistakes is that churches consistently communicate financial needs without connecting the people in the ministry to the ministry impact. All right. So you can say things like, your generosity will allow us to feed 500 families this month. It will allow us to feed 100 children or provide for 100 children in our community. You can say things like, your seed will allow us to expand outreach in our community. When you start talking like that, you're casting clear vision, and you are allowing your members to understand not only that you need them to give, but why are they giving? That giving needs to be connected to a greater purpose. When that giving is connected to a greater purpose that is clear and that is communicated clearly, I'm telling you, your giving is going to increase. If you ask your members why your church needs money, would they be able to answer with a budget? Or would they answer with a mission? I want you to think about that. If you say, why do your church need money? Right? Would you say, oh, because we're trying to increase our building fund? Yeah, you may be trying to increase your building fund, but why are you increasing your building fund? Right? To make sure that you have a place, right, for individuals in the community to come so that they can have food, both naturally and spiritually, so that you can run your vacation Bible schools, which will save the lives of many children in your community. It is all about how you communicate the vision and how the people in which you have in your church, in your business, connect to that mission. So it's not just you need to meet a budget, but why do you need to meet the budget, right? Your members should know where the church is going at all times. This is one of the, or your business, right? This is one of the biggest mistakes that businesses, church leaders make. We are so task focused sometimes, right? And again, if you're a ministry leader, you know what vision is. And sometimes pastors have the complete opposite effect of this. They're so far advanced in vision, they can see 10 years and the people are not there yet, right? And so there has to be this balance between not being so far ahead that you leave the people behind, but not being just where you are that you don't communicate where you're going. That was golden. That was golden. You need to go back and hit the replay or the rewind button to hear me say that again. All right. So your members should know where the church is going. When members know what the vision is and where the church is going, not only leadership needs to know that. I know we have our executive meetings, we meet with our teams and all the things, but it's not only your leadership team that needs to clearly understand this. It is your lay members. It is the people that are attending church on a monthly, a daily basis. If you have not sat down with them and had transparent, real, very clear conversations, some churches have an annual meeting, right? That annual meeting, a lot of times, are with leaders. How about inviting your whole membership body, right? And if you're one of those that you're saying they don't need to know that information, yes, they do, right? Transparency does something that asking for money, asking for funds cannot do, right? Transparency has an undercurrent that when people are clear, when they are transparent, when they know what's happening, that automatically builds trust. When you cast a vision, where is your company going? Where are we going to be in 6 months? Where are we going to be in 2 years? Where are we trying to go? People are more prone to help you get there because they connect to where you're going and they also understand the role that they play. Okay. All right. So many churches have vision, but only leadership knows about it, right? So you have to ask yourself the question, and or companies, right? So I help churches, small businesses, and individuals. And you could even take this from an individual approach. Where you want to be in 5 years? What is your 5 year plan? What is your 10 year plan? Do you have children? Do you have a spouse? Do you have siblings, family members, right? That you need to come alongside you in the vision. Maybe you want to build a business. Maybe you want to open up a child care center, or maybe you want to open up a home for those who are less fortunate. What is your vision? Can you clearly communicate that to where the people around you, who are your resources, who are your help, who your village, the ones that are going to help you do, whether it's giving an idea, whether it's funding. Don't you know that there are kingdom financiers here around here, right? And it's not only money, right? Rich in ideas, rich in resources. They may not be able to give money, but they may be able to lend you a building that for your feed the community event for free. right? And so you cannot outrule the people around you in clearly establishing where you're going along the journey. You need to ask questions like, where will your church be in 5 years? What is God calling your church to accomplish? What problem is your church and or your business positioned to solve? Positioned to solve. If members can't answer these questions, they may not feel connected to the mission. They may not feel connected to the mission. People support what they understand. This is the easiest. When I say easiest, it may not necessarily be the easiest, but it is one of the best ways to stop asking people for money and show them how what they give plays a role in the greater impact that you're making, right? Another thing that you can do is you can celebrate the impact of giving. Many times when people know that their giving is actually making an impact, they are more prone to give. I'm still talking about casting vision. This is the one of the things, and under casting vision, these are some of the things that you can do. Celebrate the impact of giving. Too many churches only mention giving when they need more money. All right. And so I know we have a number of different organizations, and the way that you do things may be a little bit different between your church organizations. But instead of asking people to give, start sharing stories. Tell them how the money that they've given has helped restore families, has helped people be baptized, has impacted the youth, has allowed for community outreach, has allowed lives to be transformed. That is how you connect giving to a greater purpose and a greater good. Every testimony is also a stewardship journey. Okay. Every testimony is also a stewardship journey. And when people see the fruit of their generosity, they are reminded that giving is making a real difference. Okay. Giving is making a real difference. A lot of times, people are like, if you have children or siblings, family members, nobody wants to just receive a call from somebody when they need something. Right? You call me when you don't need something from me. Call me to see how I'm doing. Let me know that you're thinking about me. Let me know that I was on your mind today and you just wanted to check in to make sure I'm okay. Nobody likes to, talk to someone only when they're asking for something. So stop asking for money and think more. Talk more about the vision and where you're going. Another thing that you can do as you're casting vision is you can show your members that their giving matters. Just what I just said, right? What is the impact? All right. Some people, they may not be able to give a lot. I know a lot of us have different demographics within our churches and within our organizations and within our businesses. Some of you have organizations where, you may have people who are on fixed incomes or whatever the case may be. And maybe they're only able to give a little bit per month, but it doesn't matter, right? How, the amount that's given. You want to make them let them know that whatever they give, that it matters. Help them to see the collective impact, right? For example, $20 bought school supplies for a child, right? $100 helped a family with groceries this month. $500 supported our missionaries that are out on the field. People are encouraged when they know that their gifts have a purpose and that their gifts matter, no matter how large it is. Now, I know sometimes we celebrate those who are big givers, and that's great. But what about those who are giving, right? They may not be a large giver, or be able to give thousands, but what they are giving is actually making an impact. And as you know, $20 plus $20 plus $20 plus $20 adds up over time. All right. The last thing I'll leave you with this week, one of the things that really, really helps as you're casting vision, as I always say, transparency. Whenever you feel the need to hide something, you're already not okay. But the more transparent you are, the more clearly you communicate the vision and where you're going, is where you're going to see the benefits of what it is that you are looking for without asking for money. Churches don't grow in generosity, right? This is another thing. I said I was going to give you two. I have so many of these to help churches, okay? And I love doing this because I know that it helps. And I've seen seen where it helps. When you teach your people generosity, when you teach them how to give and what it means to be generous and what the Bible says about those who give, whether it's in your church, in your business, individually, there are principles to giving. God says He gives seed to the sower. So the more you give, the more you will have seed to give, right? Churches don't grow in generosity because they ask for money or even ask for more money often. They grow in generosity because they are consistently reminding people that what God is accomplishing through their faithful stewardship is making an impact. When the vision stays in front of people, generosity becomes a joyful response to the mission and not a reaction to financial need. And so I want to encourage you out there. If you have been saying, man, we've been asking people to give, and we just haven't seen the increase. Think about, have you connected your mission to the impact that giving actually is going to have? Have you been focusing more on getting increased to meet a budget versus getting increased to make impact? Have you been focused on letting those know what they're giving is actually helping your business, your ministry, your life accomplish? All right. Meet me back here next Tuesday. I want to tell you one of the other very simple, easy things that you can do to increase your funding right away. And I'm going to do a seminar on this because I know this is one of the things that many people are asking about. And I just decided to come and give you about $10,000 worth of knowledge in 20 minutes or less. All right. And so if you are needing help in this area and you're like, I have a ministry, I have a church, I have a business, I haven't figured out how to get to the point where we can get increase. Maybe you've tried all the things that you know to try and you need some help, you need to come and see me. I'm going to put a link somewhere around here for you. And I want to invite you to schedule a 30-minute consultation with me. And let's talk more about some strategies because it's not all about money. It's really about strategy to get you to the next place. And so I am an answer for many of you out there. If you've been watching my videos and tuning in, do not delay. Don't delay. You know you need the help. And so we are helpers one to another, and I have been called to help people walk in financial freedom and go to the next level. And so I would love to have a conversation with you, and I'll see you very soon. Oh, one more thing. I'm going to be offline for a couple of weeks. I'm actually going on a missions in Africa where we'll be making great impact. And so we'll have some things going on for those couple of weeks. But remember, cast your vision clearly. Make sure that people understand where they're going and make sure that as you're speaking, people are clear and they can connect to the impact that their generosity is going to make both now and in the future. All right. We'll see you all soon.